Alright, in case you think this is really hard, it's not. It's super basic. So, the code, right? Variable sprite 1, create a sprite. The sprite size, the X is 100, the Y is 200. On sprite 2, the X is 300, the Y is 200, right? So what it's saying is, on this line, sprite 1, which would be here, right? The Y, which is this, is equal to the Y on sprite 2. So 200 and 200. So they are equal. Right? So this one would be true. Console sprite X on 1, that would be sprite 1, X is the 100, is greater than, right? There's the greater than symbol. Sprite 2's X. So this is sprite 1X is supposed to be greater than sprite 2's X. Obviously it's not, right? 300 is larger than 100. So that one is false. Now we'll go to this one. Sprite 1X, which is this one, sprite 1X, is less than sprite 2Y. Right? So here's sprite 1X, and here's sprite 2Y. So 100 is less than 200. So that one is true. Right? Hence, true, true, false, true. And then here's the debug console that shows true, false, true. Easy peasy. Okay, so this one, we are going to make the expressions true. So let's run the code. And you can see right here, they're all false. Comparison 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, false. So let's go to our code and make it true. Scoot this up so we can see better. Okay. Comparison 1, sprite 2X is equal to sprite 2Y. So we'll go to sprite 2. And here's the X and Y. So let's go ahead and make them both 300. Now let's reset. And now comparison 1 is true. Alright, let's go to comparison 2. Okay, sprite 2 rotation is less than 40. So let's go to sprite 2 rotation. It's 60, right? So obviously that's more than 40. So let's go ahead and make that 20. Now we'll reset it. And now comparison 1 is true. And comparison 2 is true. Let's go to comparison 3. Okay, sprite 1 scale is equal to sprite 2 scale. Clearly they're not the same size, right? So let's check the scales. Sprite scale 1 is 1.5. Sprite scale 2 is 0.5. So let's go ahead and just make these the same. Run it. Nice. Comparison 3, true. Alright, let's go on to comparison 4. Okay, comparison 4. Sprite 1X is greater than 150. So sprite 1X needs to be greater than 150. Make it 160. Reset it. Now comparison 4 is true. Now let's check comparison 5. Sprite 2Y is less than 200, right? Sprite 2Y is less than 200. So let's go to sprite 2. The Y is 300. Let's make it 100. Reset it. now we've got, oh, when we changed comparison 5, comparison 1 became false. So let's go back to comparison 1 now. Sprite 2x needs to equal sprite 2y. So let's go to sprite 2. X and y need to be equal. But sprite 5, y needs to be less than 200. So let's make the y 199 and 199. Reset. Now they're all true. Hurrah! Okay, matching comparison operators. So we're going to match the Boolean expression to English description. Is the dog's sprite's location less than the cat sprite's rotation? So first of all, let's look for dog sprite rotation. Dog sprite rotation less than symbol cat rotation. Yep. Is the dog sprite's x less than the cat x? The cat x, this is saying dog x is greater than the cat x, right? So we're going to go to dog x less than cat x. Alright, is the dog sprite scale greater than the cat sprite scale? Obviously there's only one with scale on there, so that's got to be it. Is the dog sprite x greater than, here's the greater than symbol, cat sprite x? Lastly, is the dog sprite x equal to the cat sprite x? Obviously it's the last one. Let's check our work. We did it! Okay, so in this lesson they want you to add the console log, which is what we did in the previous lesson, inside the drawing loop. And remember, this is the drawing loop right here, the green, right? You can click there. Okay, so we're going to drop our console log right in here. Console log. Alright, let's see what we got. Here's the message. Nothing doing. Okay, so we've got our console log. Now what's our log going to be? A Boolean expression inside the log that asks, is the x position of the race car less than the x position of the finish line? And remember, x is going left to right, right? And y would be going up and down. So we need to add in our console log x position of race car less than x position of finish line. So race car x less than finish line x. So here's our console log. And we need our math. Less than, right? So now we're going to say, get our sprites. We're going on the x-axis. So sprite 1, which would be the race car. Sprite 2 would be the finish line. Let's see where we are so far. Still got that error. No big deal. Okay, so race car X. Race car, race car capital C. You got to make sure and get that right. Race car X less than finish line X, right? So our log is race car X less than finish line X. Let's check it out again. We've got it. It's going false at this point. And now it went true. Now why did it go true? Because remember, it's moving this way, so the number is decreasing. So once it gets less than the finish line, that's when it becomes a true statement, right? We did it. Do. All right, more practice with booleans. Don't you love saying booleans? Booleans, booleans. Anyway, okay, so once again, we're going to add a console log, so we're just building off of the previous lesson, right? So let's go to our variables, and there it is, console log, and we're dropping it in. Now, we're going to check if the fruit scale is greater than 2. So we see the word greater than, so we know there's math right there, right? So let's go to the math. Find greater than. Greater than. We're going to drop it in. And our sprite is fruit scale. Right? So we're going to see if the scale is 2. Greater than 2. We've got to make it match, right? Fruit, fruit, fruit. It's greater than, what was the number? 2. All right, let's check it out. So what's happening, this is getting larger, right? And it's false. And once it hits 2, it should turn to true. Yep, it did it. So, again, it started off small, and then once it grew by 0.01 each time until it hit the number 2, then it became greater than 2, so it would be like 2.01. Then it became true, right? False, and then eventually it's going to go true. And there it is. Cool. Do.